Welcome, folks. The ZindagiTvKe show brought to you by MacCoffee, Kenya. Today, it's all about personal development. We talk to Samantha. Let's find out more about her, but first, a big shout out to Bollywood Casino and a wet lunch. Samantha, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's amazing to see you after a very long time.
Yes, it's really good to see you too.
So tell me, give the viewers a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, my name is Samantha Waki, and I'm a personal development coach, which is my passion, and I think that's maybe what we're here to talk about today. Yeah. Wow,
so that's your passion, and that's what you do for a living at the moment?
It's what I do for a living. I also touch on other things, but what really excites me is the personal development. It's really fun to see people grow and begin to connect with their dreams and their passions, and so it's what excites me the most.
So what exactly is personal development?
Personal development is a very broad term. Of course, it captures a lot of things. But basically, I think everybody just, a lot of people just feel disconnected. They kind of know that who they are now is not who they can be or who they're supposed to be. And so personal development takes that funny feeling and helps you define it and then help you come with a roadmap to actually help you achieve it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Wow, we are in for a treat over here, guys, today. Yeah. So tell me, first of all, how did you get into it?
How did I get into it? I don't know, maybe by accident, I think. So I've been doing it for a few years, about 7 or so years now.
Okay.
But I think it started maybe with my own journey. I started life just like a lot of people. Went to school, got good grades, was able to get a job.
So you were a chop in school, huh?
Kind of. I could have done better if I applied myself, but I didn't struggle. And got a job. So, you know, just the formula, what you're supposed to do. And somewhere in the middle of my job, I get very disconnected and I feel like, what am I doing? You know, it was a great job. I had the opportunity to travel out of the country. It was exciting. But a lot of the times I just sit and feel like there's so much more I'm capable of. And I'm using maybe 10% of what I really am. And so in the course of that process, I began to sort of do a personal quest. Just to find out how can I begin to tap into these things that are inside me.
So it just came from within?
It came from within.
Or did somebody make you realize, or something that happened?
Yeah, so actually something did happen. So around that time, I got a diagnosis, an illness that I had to deal with. And I think some of these things, they throw you off. And I think when you have something that throws you off like that, then you try and now sort of put the pieces together again. And so I had the opportunity to work with a few professionals who helped me with that, and also do my own study. And so in the process, I was able to first regain my own footing, and also in that process was able to get tools that were so useful to me. And so then as I started in a different line of work, I would encounter all these young people. And I mean, the young people of today are amazing. I don't know if you've interacted with them. They're full of passion, positive. They're not like us. When we were growing up, you know, we had so many rules. We were just straight guys. But they're so excited, and they actually believe they can attain their dreams. So it started, I was in a place where I started working with young people. And young people these days are just amazing. Full of promise, full of passion, talented. And so I had a group of young people I was working with. And they seem to be also that disconnect. They have all this passion, but they don't know how to get there. And their parents don't know how to help them. Their teachers don't know how to help them. Everybody's telling them just go for the usual career. And so I had an opportunity to begin to work with them around personal development. And so the process was I would have to do research and then come and teach them. And in the process, I developed a tool just to help them do it effectively. And each person that I worked with, you know, was just able to shoot up in terms of their career, able to get opportunities, pursuing their own visions. And so I realized there's something of value here. And so I did the same process with myself, and I was able to begin to move towards, it worked. And now I've worked with a few people, and I just love the light bulb that comes on when somebody is able to see that this thing that I've been feeling, it's possible, and I can actually start doing it.
So tell me, did you study personal development as such, or are you self-taught, or what?
I've studied psychology, and part of psychology has developmental psychology. So I've studied it at undergraduate level as part of my degree, and then also as a master's. I did a master's in educational psychology. And so I feel like that really gives me the foundation because educational psychology focuses on how do people learn. Developmental psychology focuses on how do people grow, how do people move to different phases of their lives. And so the knowledge from psychology for me has been very helpful. And then the goal setting and all these other skills, I think you just acquire working in a business environment. And so a lot of the principles are transferred from business principles. So you're taking the business principles and applying them to yourself. How do you look at yourself as a business or as an entrepreneur?
So it goes hand in hand?
It goes hand in hand. And so between the two, I think I'm able to understand psychologically where you are and then begin to structure something that will help you begin to move towards where you need to be. Yeah.
So tell me, how does it work? How does it work with you now? And let's say I've just come to see you as a Samantha. I think I have a disconnect somewhere. What's next? What's next?
Well, so I talk to you. I mean, I know you do media, obviously. And I think this is something you've been doing well. I know you're also an entrepreneur. You're also in business. And so already that tells me a bit about you in terms of your personality. But then I would want to find out more about you. Maybe you're a family person. Maybe you're not. It doesn't matter because that tells me something about you. About when you were younger. What were your dreams? What were your passions when you were younger? And we'll do activities just to help bring these things out. What are your values? What are the things that you really
treasure? So this is where the psychology is coming in.
And so once we define and understand these things about you, we're able to see where is this disconnect between who you know you are, because a lot of people, especially values, for example, I know a lot of people who believe they're people of integrity. It's a value that they want to embody. But you might find somebody who's a person of integrity is caught in fraud or is cheating on their wife. And these are things that are completely going against their values and they don't know how they ended up there. But you realize that it's just a pattern of compromise over the years and that has brought that on. And so these things create that internal disconnect where you know this is not me. I don't know if you hear people say, this is not me. I don't know what came over me.
But they ended up doing it.
Yes, exactly. But I think the fact that that's a value, it means that that is them. They probably just haven't created a structure around their lives to help them live that value consistently. And so with my process, there's no condemnation. Everybody messes up. So we just find out, where are you? How do we get from here to where you need to be?
But it only works on a 100% honesty basis.
It does, but the beauty of having done this for a while is you can pick up a lot of crap.
So you can know this guy.
Quickly. You can pick it up very quickly.
He's just lying to me.
I can just tell you're lying to yourself. It's worse than lying to me. You're lying to yourself. And so it's a fun process because unlike counseling, there's not a lot of pressure. And in the sense that I don't push you to tell me everything. We just work with goals. We work more around goals. But as we're working towards the goals, things will come up. And the things don't come up for me to tell you what to do. It's just I'll paint the picture and you're like, then I need to do 1, 2, 3 things. And so I like that the solutions come from you, the answers come from you, even the acknowledgement that maybe you're living a lie comes from you. And then the solutions we work on together and come up with a roadmap.
Awesome. Guys, we meet right after this as we find out a few more secrets about how she does her magic.
Hi, I'm Monique. I'm a fitness trainer. I'm a kickboxing trainer and a personal trainer. MacCoffee, white coffee, 3-in-1. It is easy and fast to make. In between clients, I can make a cup of MacCoffee, white coffee, 3-in-1, and it's only 15 shillings. MacCoffee, power your now.
So Samantha, I'm sure you've had some amazing experiences. Have you ever had a bad one?
No, I think the bad ones for me is when people drop off and quit.
They say, no.
I'm like, man, we were going somewhere, it was so exciting. So that's the bad one. But I understand people are where they are.
So it's a process, it's a gradual process.
It's a
Patience,
gradual process.
How long does it take?
I think to come up with a plan, it shouldn't take too long. By 2 months, you should have a plan that you're moving with. And I like to leave you at that point where you have a plan and just go and do it.
So is it a written plan as such?
It's a written plan.
So you follow, you give them the diary and say, okay, this is your goal, this is what you have to wake up and do this and that and that.
No, there's no diary. I think I personally don't work well that way either. A lot of people are structured, but you'll find people who are more creative. We're not structured.
Yes, we're born free.
Yeah, just born free. But it's more of organizing what's going on in here. So then everything is neat and tidy. So then in the morning you know exactly what you need to do because the mess has been cleaned up. So that's
share with us one of your awesome experiences.
Yeah, well, I think one of my best clients was somebody I met at a point where they were really, I think, at a very big low in their lives, and you couldn't tell because this is somebody who, from the public perspective, just looked like everything was figured out. But they were dealing with broken relationships. At that time, they were estranged from their children, so they had children, but they were not in their life, and they had just failed to live up to their values, and so that was really a big thing for them because they just kept saying, this is not who I am. And I remember when I was talking to this person, they told me he hadn't been happy in like 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
Wow.
And this is somebody who's living their life from the outside. They look very successful.
Him, it's so normal.
Yeah, and you're telling jokes and, you know, that kind of thing. And so I think the main thing was just that disconnect. And so within a short period of time, we were able to reconnect with his vision, you know, like initially, like when you came out, what did you set out to do in life? What were you trying to do? What is that thing that drives you? And so just helping him redefine that in the current context. And then part of my process, a lot of people focus on career and career goals. And then you think everything else will work itself out, you know. But then you have to have goals for family. You have to have goals for recreation. You have to have goals for different things that are important in your life. And so by just beginning to work through that process, set some goals, within a short period of time, he was able to be reconnected with his children. And the situation is not perfect, but he was able within an imperfect situation to recreate his life again and find stability. And so that's really what we try to do. And this would be for somebody who's a bit older, who's probably had a lot of time to make mistakes. A lot of us, when we get into that position, we settle. We just give up. We're like, this is what life is about.
They're in their comfort zone.
Yeah, it's a comfort zone. It's not fun, but you figure it out. People self-medicate, so you get into your drinking and your partying because you're just looking for a way to escape this life that is not the life you signed up for. And so just being able to retrace your steps and find out what makes you tick really helps you to then begin to move forward.
Oh, cool. Man. So tell me now, how do you come in?
How do I come in? So I've worked with older people, like I said. I also work with younger people. The main thing I do is I help you reconnect with your vision. So everybody has a vision. And the Bible says, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, without vision, people perish. And so if you cannot see that vision, if you're not living that vision, you'll die. And people just die slowly. You know, it's not going to be like one dramatic death. But a lot of people have no vision in life. And so they're just going through the motions. And so I help you reconnect with that vision. And then we understand how far away are you from this vision, which is just having a clear picture of this is the vision. And I'm like, wow, I'm miles away from where I need to be. And then we just craft a roadmap. How do we get to that vision?
So tell me now, you see, in terms of right now, everything is so digital and all that, you know? So you'll find videos on YouTube. Or you'll buy a magazine or a book or a novel from one of these motivational experts and all that stuff. I mean, does that really work also?
I don't know. I think, just to give you an example from my own life, around nutrition. I mean, everybody wants to eat right. Everybody wants to have the right shape, body, be fit. And so for the longest time, I've been trying to figure out nutrition on my own. You know? And you go online and they'll tell you chia seeds are a superfood or whatever. There's so much information online. And recently, I just had one session with a nutritionist, somebody who's been trained as a nutritionist, who's not going to tell me to buy things that are only available to Hindus, you know, but things that I can buy in the local market. That
affordable stuff.
That one session, it solved all my problems at once. Yeah, because it's custom-made information. It's tailored to my context, and I'm relying on this person's expertise. You know, you don't have to go do a psychology degree. You know, I did it for you. So it's just now an issue.
So the one-on-one makes a difference
it makes
instead
a huge
of just reading
difference.
or watching a video.
To separate what is crap and what is useful. Because again, with the same internet, we have all this fake news. You know, so you'll find two studies that are contradicting each other. And I think it's easy when you're in the internet to make it far away. It doesn't get personal. It doesn't get real. I think with my process, it does get personal. It does get real. But it's good because you're able to overcome that hurdle and get things done.
Amazing. So you see, it's like, then what's your bottom line about it now? What do you get out of it as such?
What do I get out of it?
Because I believe you put in so much time, you put in so much effort. Yeah, of course, consultation fee and all that is fine. But individually, what is your vision behind it? Yeah, because I do have a vision, and I like that you mentioned that. So my vision is, my organization is called Righteous Oaks. And my vision is to have people standing as oak trees. And these people become a source of shelter to others. These people are able to solve problems in their community. They stop being the problem, they become the solution. And so at the base of what I'm trying to do is wealth creation. I believe that everybody has that ability to create value and to bring wealth, to create wealth, not to just take from somebody else, but just to create out of nothing something that will be valuable. And so I want to have as many wealth creators out there. And the way to create wealth is to connect with that wealth that is inside you and bring it out. You know, I think as an entrepreneur, you must understand that. You know, there's that passion to create something out of nothing. But also the young people, they have that mindset. They don't want to sit behind a desk. They want to create something that will last. And one of my clients is a musician, and he has a good enough music career, has done enough albums, but recently went into production, and he's doing production from his bedroom, and we're able to define his vision, and he has an Africa-wide vision. He wants to impact the continent, and he has a vision around what his music is supposed to do and how it's going to be different from what is in the market. And just by helping that person connect with that big picture and then bring it home, how do we get you there? What are the gaps? Really helps somebody attain their dreams at their highest possible level. And so that makes me excited. But I also do work with organizations, because organizations start with people. And so there's companies that were started with people that have also sort of hit a snag. And so we use the same principles. We come into your team, meet with your team, and we're able to help you. So how many are you in your team? Or are you the only?
No. I work with a team. So I have a core team of about 3 people that I work with on a regular basis. And then depending on the scope of whatever projects I'm working on, I bring in different people based on skill sets and shared values. Shared values. So these are people who are also passionate about the things we're passionate about. And so we've been able to do projects with bigger companies. When it's a bigger company, of course, we will do things like surveys, we'll do things like interviews to understand where people are at. And then we draft a roadmap again, a strategy, and we get it done.
What you're doing is fantastic. You know? Now, last but not least, you know, it's very difficult from the way we look at the world turning right now, and you know, people are getting depressed and sad, and you know, people even make noise because my photo didn't get this many likes or something.
Exactly.
So it's like, how do you get such a person to come forward?
I think for me the thing is, it's so interesting in my line of work how many people I've met who, if you just have one conversation and ask the right questions, you can quickly just pick up just how this person is doing. And even part of those, putting those photos up to get the likes, it's just trying to get that validation that you have value. And so, you know, my process is helping you see you don't need those guys to tell you how valuable you are. You can discover that for yourself. And so I believe anybody who's curious about, am I meant for more? If you could just start one conversation, it might open up so many other conversations. It is a process. And it is work. So it's not, that's why people don't do it. It's not easy.
So not everyone does
but
it,
the ones who have done it, they really just can give a good testimony of how useful it has been for them. And especially because the answers come from them. So it's not saying that so-and-so told me. No, it's always been there. I've been able to connect with it.
Amazing, man. I mean, awesome. Thanks so much for coming in. You know, last but not least, I have to give you the MacCoffee hamper, that's from our sponsors.
Yes.
So you've got enough coffee to stay awake and do your brainstorming and all that stuff.
Thank you so much.
And maybe you can just share with our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
So to get a hold of me, my consultancy is Righteous Oaks Consultants, and so if they could just they can check. I have a website, so they could just go to the website. They'll be able to get an email address where they can reach me. I'm on Facebook as well, Righteous Oaks Consultants, and they should be able to reach me.
Awesome! Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And we wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Yes, thank you as well. It's been great talking to you.
Pleasure.
Yeah.